Shadows, portals, the sound of a gremlin coming from inside your refrigerator. Are these the hallucinations of a broken mind? Or is reality finally shedding its skin? You've been told that history is a straight line, but I'm here to tell you, it's a knot. And the shadow government is trying to choke you with it. This is the only broadcast on the planet that isn't pre-approved by a committee of reptilian bureaucrats. Lubricate your eardrums and prepare for an information overhaul so dense, it'll cause your common sense to blue screen and reboot in ancient Aramaic. Strap in, you beautiful ignorant bastards. This is Reinhart Conspiracies. I bet you're wondering why my eyes are so fucked. God, look at these things. They look like two bruised plums. Ugh. I haven't slept in 3 weeks because I've been hiding this show in the dark web's basement, strategically moving our signal between a defunct Bulgarian server and a smart fridge in suburban Ohio. My wife Imogen thinks I should call it quits and retire. Come home to our loving family of 2 Adonis sons, ripe with the valor of gladiators. My nervous system is held together by sheer willpower and a handful of questionable gas station stimulants. I'm vibrating at a level that would make a tuning fork explode. But here I am, and I'm awake. I'm the only one left who could see through the fog. Excuse me. Oh. My God! Whoa. Sorry about that. Don't you worry. I cut the edge with a glass of milk, 2 Quaaludes, and some phenobarbital. Everything's all right. Ugh. Oh, my goodness. Yes, Admiral Reinhart. Yes, I'm here. The signal is bouncing off of a dead satellite and a server in the Arctic. It's barely holding. Talk to me.
Agent Alpha Q, Alpha Q, can you hear me? I hear a violent attack. A Godzilla-like creature is trying to break into the facility, slamming right outside the bunker walls. The whole facility is jumping like a flea on the hot plate. I don't know if I'm going to make it this time, Alpha. I think it found me.
My God, sir, stay away from the vents. What's the supply situation? If you're going to be entombed, you need the calories.
The situation is dire, Alpha. I am down to my final container of dehydrated scalloped potatoes and a single vacuum-sealed packet of fruit snacks that I suspect were manufactured during the Reagan administration. I have been rationing them by the molecule. I spent 4 hours today simply describing the flavor of a grape to an empty room. It was the most intellectually stimulating conversation I've had in weeks.
Yes, sensory preservation. Yes, it's brilliant. You're keeping the neural pathways for sweetness alive so they don't atrophy under pressure.
One must maintain the architecture of the mind, Alpha. But the architecture of the soul is neglected. I have been locked in this bunker for so long that I've begun to develop a truly profound, almost courtly affection for the female voice on my automated oxygen scrubber. She tells me the CO2 levels are nominal, and I find myself wanting to write her a sonnet. It is a biological ache, Alpha, a dignified respectful yearning to share a confined space with someone who isn't a holographic diagnostic menu. I've sent you several new stories you must reveal to the public immediately now before it is too late. Report this live now, I implore you. Oh, that was the primary bulkhead. The seals are screaming, Alpha. Listen to me. If this is the end, remember, the truth doesn't need a witness to be real. But it certainly needs help with the loneliness. Stay in the fog, stay in the fog, stay...
Admiral! Admiral! Don't give up on the scalloped potatoes! You heard the man. The signal is dying. The Admiral might become a monster's snack. And the truth is the only weapon we have left. We are in a state of high alert ambiguity. He might be currently fighting off a giant lizard with a sharpened spork. Grab the towel and tilt your head back, because we're about to pour 5 gallons of unpasteurized reality directly into your soft, defenseless skull meat. It's time for the Brain-Bleed Bulletin. The Gospel according to contusions. Our next revelation comes from the Theological Trauma Files. Meet Brenda, a woman who didn't realize she was a divine vessel until the October left hook. Most people see a hematoma. I see a woman who has encountered the Almighty in shades of plum and ochre. Her husband Gary, a man with the temperament of a badger and the fist-of-flesh precision of Da Vinci, wasn't a monster. He was an accidental iconographer. By the 40th inspiration session, Gary produced a swelling on Brenda's shoulder that she claimed was the Virgin Mary. Gary, however, flipped her arm upside down, squinting until he insisted the shadow was actually Frankenstein's monster. For the first time, they felt like a team, finding common ground in the bruised green-tinted neck bolts of a fictional Titan. But Gary pushed the medium too far. He claimed he wasn't hitting her, he was sculpting the sin out of her soul, that her bruises were just God-colored receipts for salvation. Gary considered himself the blunt instrument of God. That's when Brenda introduced the blunt instrument to a heavier one, a cast-iron skillet. Gary flung from the balcony. Gary didn't hit the ground. He landed across 2 steel I-beams, arms stretched out in a state of sudden permanent grace. The neighborhood gathered to witness the ascension of the abuser. Don't dawn on one, folks. Just squint. You might be one inspiration session away from hosting a disciple on your jawline. The Feline Fever Dream. Our next transmission from the Classified Carnivores files brings us to Ohio. Meet Experiment 9 Lives, a CIA soft infiltration escapee currently living in the attic of a cat enthusiast named Crystal. He isn't just a boy with cat ears. He's a walking parody of a Gothic masterpiece. Imagine Edward Scissorhands, but with retractable obsidian claws, used specifically to shred high-end upholstery into art. Crystal, whose personality is 80% boxed wine and 20% litterbox delusion, did not call the police. She was in love. She was memorized. She saw a soulmate. I see a biological weapon that knocks wine glasses off the mantel just to watch them shatter. The intimacy was absurd. He'd lean in for a romantic moment, only to ruin it by abruptly licking his own genitals for 20 minutes straight. The friction peaked when a mob arrived with a vicious Doberman. You have this religious fanatic lady shrieking, "Get thee behind me, Meowzabub," while spraying holy water. And we also have a sexy 60-year-old divorcee in the back, looking at Catboy like he was a 3-course meal. The neighbor's Doberman chased Catboy into the sewer, never to be seen again. Here's the blatant truth. You don't love him. You have toxoplasmosis. A parasite is literally rewiring your frontal lobe to mistake predatory aggression for a brooding personality. Make no mistake, you're just a host body for a litterbox-born mind warp. Sorry. The Philadelphia Experiment, Seamen Reemergent. October 1943, Philadelphia. The Navy tries to make the USS Eldridge invisible, only for the ship to vanish into a green mist that smelled of scorched ozone and shattered logic. Legends claim the crew returned fused into the hull like a meat puzzle, but the truth is much better. The ship took a high-speed left turn out of a repressed era and slammed directly into the 21st century. Those sailors didn't vanish into the abyss. They reappeared in a high-energy gay dance club on Santa Monica Boulevard. Picture it, 35 men in 1940s bell-bottoms stumble out of a universal void next to a neon pool table, coughing up salt water and staring at a go-go dancer wearing nothing but body paint and a look of mild confusion. Within 20 minutes of hearing "I will survive," their naval training was overridden by a biological, unapologetic fabulousness. Ensign Miller, whose previous idea of flair was polished shoes, was spotted doing the duck walk and being the center of attention. He didn't just find his way, he found his gay. The boatswain was found screaming at a bouncer, demanding to know why the Navy never told him that seaman was a lifestyle, not just a rank. The experiment didn't turn them, so to speak. It just ended the charade. The Navy has always been an Abercrombie and Finch manfest of handsome dudes playing a high-stakes game of not flirting while maintaining a perfect tan. The most advanced military experiment in history simply gave 35 men the green light to stop staring at the horizon and start staring at each other. They're here, they're queer, and they're not going back to the sea. Oh no. Now for our final story. Most people look at the sky and worry about the rain. But Eloisa has captured something that defies both gravity and a restraining order. She claims she's been targeted by a bruja, a witch hiding in plain sight who has marked her, and is currently terrorizing the block like a high-altitude hex with a vendetta. She's provided me with what she considers to be definitive world-shattering intel, crystal-clear footage of a sorceress pulling a high-speed hit-and-run on a stolen broomstick. Is this the most significant supernatural discovery of our time? Or is this neighborhood feud just a total, unhinged fever dream? I'm going to confront this marked woman and find out if the suburbs are officially under a demonic siege. We held this interview at my assistant Geronimo's house for anonymity.
They are hard to find. Witches, they are hard to find. They are very good. Hiding in plain sight, casting spells and ruining my life. Brujeria! And it's not like you can call the cops. They will think you're freaking crazy.
So you've tried calling the police. I mean, after all, harassment is harassment, nonetheless.
Of course I did, but she has them enchanted.
Enchanted? Oh. Eloisa, why don't you walk me through this from the very beginning? You said you have intel, footage, proving the existence of a witch.
Oh, I know exactly who she is. My neighbor Rosela Sofina. I was on my porch with Marisela, my child, doing what normal people do. Cleansing her of demonic entities by extracting evil deposits, or frota chicken eggs by rubbing them all over her body, and afterward verifying their demonic consistency by cracking them open into a jar of water and looking for anomalies? What? Obviously. When suddenly, I caught eye with her. My current neighbor, Rosela Sofina Juarez Domingo. Something was off. She was upset by the demonic sucking eggs. I know it. She gave me the look of, "Hey, stop that, you crazy?" I really thought it was nothing. But by this point, my gut told me otherwise. Sure enough, she went on her tippy toes, and I was like, oh shit, she's like a ballerina or something, right? But oh no, she kept going, floating right off the floor, and gazing into my soul. Marisela freaked out and ran por la chingada. Nope. I heard her words in my head, clear as day, as we locked eyes. You have been marked. Right there and then I knew this was the beginning of something bad.
Agent Alpha Q. Oh, this sounds kind of ridiculous. I think we should move on to the next story.
Mr. Reinhart insisted we cover the story, and cover the story we shall. I apologize for my assistant Geronimo. He's a racist slob.
The only reason I even got into this line of work was to be a real-life Mulder and Scully.
but the FBI said my bad ankle disqualified me. So now I work for this new guy. What the heck his name is again?
Your name is Alpha Q?
Alpha Q, yes.
Alpha Q?
Agent Alpha Q. Mm-hmm.
Alpha Q?
So you said you were actually marked. What exactly does that mean?
Yes. Look!
Oh my God, it looks infected. My God, that was disgusting. Now brace yourself, everyone. Eloisa gave us candid footage of a witch flying on a broomstick over her house. This may disturb some viewers. Apparently, what you're about to see is actual footage of a witch. Let's watch.
Where is my broom? That bitch took it, didn't she? There she is. I knew it. A witch! That witch took my broom. See? Witch. Clearly.
That's really blurry. That could be anything. A UFO, perhaps. Those goddamn aliens.
Undeniable proof of fuck you. Those chingones in Salem got it right in the past. I say we burn her to prove she's a witch.
That's absurd, Eloisa. The Salem witch burnings were acts of insanity, driven by paranoia. Those were different times, my love.
Well, whatever you do not approach her. She will infect you with an illusion.
Against Eloisa's wishes, I decided to pay her alleged witch neighbor, Rosela Sofina Juarez Domingo, a visit and confront her once and for all about these accusations head on.
Eloisa is the witch. I mean, rubbing eggs on children, saging, Ouija boards, tarot cards. The proof is in the pudding, my friend. Did you see her with the kid? I can't believe she rubbed eggs on her, and then making her stare at me? And then she made her run into the house. That's my niece. You do realize that's my niece. She's crazy. And also, look, she marked me.
My God. After careful consideration, my crew and I decided that there was only one way to prove who the real witch actually is.
Sir, I think they're dead.
Oh boy, I think we made a mistake. Geronimo!
Sir, that's not my name.
Geronimo, could you clean up the ashes? We have to get to the next story.
You bitch! You should have never left the coven, my love. Their master plan is far too dangerous for you to be a part of.
Think of Maricela.
Leave my daughter out of this, cabrona! Alpha Q. Let's make sure I don't see you again, or else we will have a problem. But hey, I got my broom back.
My God, that was unexpected. So it turns out Eloisa wasn't just a paranoid mother with an egg-rubbing fetish. She was a disgruntled warlock in exile with a serious grudge and a broomstick. He went into the suburbs looking for a neighborhood dispute and ended up presiding over a double witch barbecue that turned the local park into a supernatural war zone. Rosella may have disintegrated into a pile of suburban ash, but she made one thing clear. The intel we're uncovering is more dangerous than ever anticipated. While Eloisa is currently somewhere over the San Bernardino freeway, fly-by-night, and looking for a new coven to terrorize, the rest of us are left staring at the soot. I'm Agent Alpha Q, and if you see a woman in yoga pants hovering over your chimney on a Dyson, don't scream. Just tuck your junk between your legs, start rubbing a chicken egg on your forehead, and pray she doesn't think you stole her broom. Next time on Reinhart Conspiracies, the frequency hijack. Is that viral dance trend a challenge, or is an ultrasonic signal from the HAARP array turning the youth into a biological botnet? It's all fun and games until the government uses the ionosphere to make you hit the whoa against your will. Honestly, if the New World Order wanted to enslave us, you'd think they'd pick a move that didn't involve so much aggressive pelvic thrusting. The fast food fallout. We've tracked down a rogue franchise where the secret sauce has a literal half-life. We're talking burritos seasoned with enriched uranium, where the hot salsa can melt through the hull of a nuclear submarine. This isn't flavor. It's an isotope-infused colon cleanse. If you eat this, you won't need a flashlight to find the bathroom at 3 a.m. You'll be glowing bright enough to be seen from the International Space Station. Alpha Q Identity War. A shape-shifting Alpha Centaurian, a cosmic bottom feeder, an alien from another planet, has decided to single-white female my life. If you see me tonight trying to order warm milk and reproduce with a decorative fern, that is not me. That is a three-hearted lizard in an Alpha Q suit trying to tank my reputation by telling people I secretly enjoy musical theater. Listen, you six-legged fraud. I'm going to shove a Geiger counter so far up your ass, you'll be able to hear the Big Bang. To the rest of you, if you see a version of me that smells like ammonia and can't remember how to use a fork, aim for the throat. There can only be one. Like, subscribe, repost, comment, tell everyone immediately. Stay vigilant. Alpha Q signing off.